Hello everyone, it's DA here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are doing amazing. So I see a lot of people recently questioning if some of my information is correct, especially the newest one about Anthem, if it is credible or not. So I will answer some questions about where I get some of this information from and how I get a lot of them, who I talk to. I will not be giving you names exactly, but I will let you know one thing. A lot of these people have gone to school with them. Some of them are currently interns in the industry. Some of them are assistants. Some of them are actual devs. Some of them are former devs. And some of them worked contract with a lot of these gaming studios. Because believe it or not, a lot of these gaming studios don't actually do all the development in-house. Some of them outsource them to other studios. And a lot of times, if you can follow the paper trail, you can track who has the information. And of course, if you're not bound to any other company by contract, and if you're not partnered with any of them, it's easier for people to talk to you because the paper trail is very thin and it's hard for them to be blamed for information. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Case in point. With Anthem, I've put out a lot of videos talking about the overhaul, the route design, the sandbox changes, factions. I even talked about swords early 2019. When I talked about the studio thinking about innovating and bringing that into the game, I talked about hammers in early 2019. And recently, you have the developers tweeting about swords in Anthem. This is an information I got from an old dev in 2019 who told me about a lot of these things not being able to be put into the game because they did not have time. And all of a sudden with this overhaul, they're tweeting this information. That is crazy, right? Recently, I posted a video on July 26th and I talked about some of this information. BioWare officially came out on July 31st to confirm it. In that video that I put out on the 26th, a lot of people said I was lying. BioWare later on confirmed it on the 31st. To add two things, I put out a video about Anthem overall several months after Anthem was released in late summer 2019. People didn't believe it was going to happen, that the game was getting an overhaul, getting a rework. Later on, in May 2020, BioWare confirms it. That's another case in point. I don't have to lie about these things. I get my information, I put it out there. You don't have to believe me. Moving on from Anthem, moving on to Warframe, because I know that is also one thing that a lot of people question. I talked about Tencent planning to buy Warframe parent company on April 14th this year. And of course, people questioned it and said I was lying. Well, the July 10th, 2020 came and every Warframe creator started making videos on it because it has now been officially confirmed. That's one of the issues right there. They could have been aware of this sale several months ahead of time, but they did not believe it. I was also one of the first people to talk about Warframe being sold years ago and the new deal about them selling it to Layu, selling it to Perfect World, and a few weeks later, they confirmed it. In fact, the parent company for Warframe already hit my channel with a copyright strike several years ago. I was one of the first ones to talk about the problems with BioWare that they had with EA, the problems DE had with Layu, the problem Bungie had with Activision. I even talked about who owned the studios and the type of contracts they have and the clauses in place and how they could get out of it if they want to. These were some of the videos that I titled Who Owned These Companies, Who Owned DE, Who Owned Bungie, all that type of stuff. I explained some of this. I even explained some of these things in my live streams when I used to stream a lot. And that is just a few of them. Now, moving on to Ubisoft. I was one of the first people to talk about Ubisoft's Avatar project. And then the company hit me with a copyright strike to delete the video. If you were on here, you would have seen my post about the copyright strike with image of proof showing how they have struck me and what they struck my channel for. I talked about the working conditions at Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment on the 3rd of April this year. And several months later, there were news about Ubisoft Studios, accusations, different things going on in the workplace, and now everybody acts all brand new like this is brand new information when I've talked about it several months ahead of time. But people don't believe that. There were even moments when I talked to graphic designers, former devs of studios, some current devs, interns, assistants, and the key is, once again, people will talk to you when you're not partnered with studios. It is a lot easier that way. I don't think a lot of people get this, but whenever you partner with a studio, information that is given to you, access of information is a little bit screwed up because all the people there, they know who you are now, and they know not to give you information because it can be easily tracked. I put out a story, people deny it. Then a few weeks or years later, the studio comes out or some big YouTuber comes out, and then people act like I didn't say it first. Sometimes you see people come back to a video and say, yo, dude, you called it. Yo, dude, you were right, and all that kind of stuff. But then the other major question is, why am I even giving you guys all this information? Because a lot of people don't want the information to begin with. They don't want to know what is going on. They don't want to know how things are changing in the industry. I'm not their biggest or favorite content creator out there, so they don't care about getting the information from me. You don't have to believe me, but these are the ways that I get my information. You talk to people, you understand people. You don't have to be the biggest person out there, and you don't have to talk to the biggest person out there either, because a lot of times the biggest individuals will not talk to you. So you have to sometimes look for people who are at the bottom in some of these companies. They are the ones who might be able to give you information on what is going on, how the workplace environment is, who is doing what, how people get promoted, are there cliques in these companies, you know, is it a boys club, is it a girls club, what is going on in some of these places. You have to learn to deal with that. And just because you get invited to a studio or any of these things, to be honest, if they invite you to a studio, consider every exclusivity over, because that means you have been canned and stored in. That means the studio will now block access to every information that they're trying to hide. That means you cannot get the little dirty secrets about the studio because they have now made you one of their children. That's a problem with Division 2, that's a problem with Anthem, that's a problem with Warframe, that's a problem with a lot of these creators out there. Once you partner with people, consider it over. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.